Hey friends, welcome back. This is episode 75, and this one's going to be a fun one because we're going to talk about why using results to create a belief does not work. We have to have the belief first to create the results. So I just want to use an example real quick so like it makes sense what we're talking about. So when I was in high school, my biggest dream was to go play college basketball. Okay. And I did all the work. Like I played up as a freshman. I lifted weights by myself because none of the other girls wanted to do that. And in the summer times, I would go running in the mornings to work on my cardio, right? Like I was committed, I was in it. And so by the time my senior year rolled around, like that was like, I had worked for 3 years. Like that was my goal, like camps and everything. Right. But I didn't believe I had what it took to go play college basketball. I knew I wanted it and I desired it, but I didn't really believe that I could. And so what I was looking for was recruiters to come watch me or to send me letters. Because if they came and watched me or they sent me letters, then I could believe that I was good enough to go play college basketball. All right. Well, I was on a terrible team. We won one game a year.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm. So of course no recruiters are going to come watch us, right? And like I was just like maybe like average to maybe like a little bit above average. Like I had holes in my game, right? So like there was no reason for a recruiter to come. But in my mind, I thought if I was good enough, and they would come and find me. So then I would know I was a good enough basketball player. So I sat around and I waited. No letters came, no recruiters came, right? And I was so sad, but I was also, my brain was gaining evidence to prove that I wasn't good enough, right? Yeah. So part of it was like this realization, like, see, I knew I wasn't good enough. If I was good enough, they would have came. But here's the deal. I ruined that dream and I had to take full responsibility. I didn't play basketball in college because of me, which is kind of painful to admit, right? Like I can never get a take back. I can never go after that dream again. Like that's all on me because I was looking for results to create the belief, right? And as you know, from listening to us for so long, what we believe is what we will create. I didn't believe I was good enough to go play college basketball. I created that result. I didn't go play college basketball because I believed I wasn't good enough.
Yeah.
And here's where the kicker is. So in my senior year, like I went on, I played intramurals, whatever, right? My senior year, my friends ran cross country. And I was like, just as athletic as they are, I can do this. I've never ran cross country in my life. I'm pretty sure I can do this. I go out for the team and make the team. Like I'm not great. I'm like one of the last girls, but I still made the team on a sport that I'd never done before. Yeah. If I can be picked up on a cross country team, I would have been picked up to play college basketball. So if I'd have believed in high school first that I was good enough to go play college basketball, you know what I would have done? I would have done videos and I would have sent to recruiters. I would have reached out to coaches. I would have went and tried out at D2 schools. I would have went and tried out at community colleges until someone picked me up. Somebody would have picked me up or I'd have walked on.
Yeah.
And I would have played college basketball. Right. But I had to believe first, and that would have informed my actions. I would have had much different actions. But because I believed I couldn't, my actions were inactions. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's what this whole episode is about, is like, we have to believe first to create the results we want. We can't look for results. We can't wait to say like, I can't be successful. I don't know how to be successful. And then wait for success to happen to prove to us like, yeah, see, okay, I guess I can be successful. Like you have to believe first, like I can be successful, and then you create the success.
Right. Yeah. I just lost my thought.
Sorry.
yeah, if we don't recognize that that belief, right, and you just keep looking around like this is fish great, let me think about this, like grass is greener on the other side.
Okay.
Right, it's like, oh, I am unhappy, right? So I have a friend who's unhappy in her job, right? And she just started this job. So it hasn't been very long, a couple of weeks, and she's not confident. She's not doing the job as efficient as she thinks she should.
Right.
Now, her supervisors are not praising her, but they're not saying, hey, you could do this job more efficiently, right? Yeah. They're not, I guess they're hands-off supervisors. They're not like cheering her on. Yeah. And so she's translating that as, I'm not doing a good enough job. Right.
Because
I'm unhappy.
She believes that she's not doing a good enough job. So that creates the evidence. Nobody's cheering for me. Must not be doing a good job.
Yes. And this job is very individual, right? So it's not as if she's in a work environment where she's got 3 or 4, 5, a dozen coworkers. She's responsible for one area. So she's alone all day. Mm-hmm. So she doesn't have that like external validation that she's looking for.
Right.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm gonna pause you there. She is getting the external validation she's looking for. Okay.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Because she has a belief. I know I'm not doing a good job.
I'm not doing a good job. Yes.
She's getting all the validation in the world that she needs to validate that belief.
Okay. You're right. That's more accurate. She's not getting positive, like external positive reinforcement that she thinks she needs. And that's creating that evidence that, yeah, she's not going to be good at this job. Right. So she's already decided that.
Oh, right? Yeah.
I mean,
she already had this belief before she started day one.
Yeah. So now it's creating this paralysis into finding another job, right? Or another
better than here.
Career path. Yeah. It's that grass is greener on the other side, that, oh, okay, if I did something, like this, it would be a lateral move, if you will. And so there's some jobs that she's really struggling with that are like, you know what, I may not make as much money, but it's got to be better than this. Okay. And to me, that's a little challenging to support, because I'm thinking, okay, it's only been a few weeks. Yeah. Right. I mean, and if you talk to veterans in this position at where she works, they will tell you, yeah, it's tough. And you keep doing it until it clicks. Right. And then it's sort of that muscle memory. Then you're like, oh, okay, it's not as bad. Right. And it does get easier. It's just there's a very, very steep learning curve in this position. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So because she's already gathered that evidence that this job is not gonna, or she's already gotten the evidence and then the results, right, that this job is not going to be a good fit. Yep. She's already looking for something else. But the problem is because that belief system isn't there, I think she's going to be unhappy with any job.
I 1,000% guarantee you she won't be happy anywhere.
Yeah.
Because just like Jon Kabat-Zinn said in his book, wherever you go, there you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't matter, right? Like we can take these to jobs, different boss, different job, same situation, because you brought yourself in there with the same thoughts and beliefs, different relationship, different face. Yeah. You're in there, same thoughts and beliefs. So that you see like people that will repeat cycles in their life. Because I think that the circumstance or the situation, I'll just change the situation. Right? It's you. You're always the common denominator.
Yeah.
right? You can change situations as much as you want,
Yeah.
but you will still repeat.
Right. I think, I mean, I know that it's tough to look in that mirror, right, and
Oh yeah, we don't
evaluate.
want to do it.
Yeah. And then when people change situations, say you get a job in an office setting with, fun coworkers, right? Like they're comedians. They want to like make friends with the new person. And so then it's fun, kind of, yeah, at the beginning, you're making
50%
friends.
of the time.
Yeah. And then if you find a job that doesn't I don't know, exercise your skills, you're just finding a job to make money because we need to pay the bills. And then you're not so in my mind I translated as we're not growing, right?
Yeah.
But it's I think a little bit challenging to show folks that just going off those results, because I think that as we've gone through school and higher education, oftentimes we've been programmed or taught, right, to go after those results, right? Like that's usually the motivation of, oh, I want to make more money, I want a better job.
Yeah.
And so they try to fit within that framework.
Yeah, I mean, society's programming is, right? Like we're never programmed to know that our thoughts create the results in our life. We're programmed to think that, and I could go into so much political of this, we're programmed to think that all the power lies outside of us.
Right.
Circumstances create our moods, and results are what will help us believe in ourselves.
Right.
Results of what will make us happen. Why do you think as a nation that we're so in debt? We're so unhappy because we think more money will make me happy. A bigger house will make me happy. A wife and 2 kids will make me happy. Right. And it never works. And so we have to go get more, and we have to go get more and more and more because it never works, because we're never getting to the root cause. The root cause is you and your beliefs, right? You believe that this out here is going to make you happy, and that hard is a bad thing, right? Like you talk to any entrepreneur you've ever met, and we will tell you the first 2 years, it's a grind. You know why it's a grind? It's not because we're working a lot of hours.
Yeah.
If you could tell me, Kim, like work 80 hours a week and you'll be super confident the whole time, I would work 80 hours a week. The hard part is that it's a mirror, and I'm having to face all my insecurities and all my self-limiting thoughts all the time. That's why it's hard.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's this constant, this constant self-reflection. Yes. Yeah. And it's tough work.
It's like, look, you're going to feel crappy until about year 2. Year 3, you're going to feel good. You got your feet underneath you then, right?
Yeah.
That's for any job. You know why? It's because we want, like your friend, she has this new job. She's wanting to use confidence, right? Yeah. Confidence is history-based. It's rep-based. Right. Means I've done this before, right?
Familiar.
She wants to use this in this job, and it's not working. You've never done this job before. There's no historical evidence to pull from. So it feels terrible. Everything she does feels uncomfortable. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I feel so insecure. I feel so inadequate. I feel like this should have been easy. A smart any average person could do this, which are all just lies, right? They're just thoughts or optional thoughts. And it's like, no, you've never done this before. You had never walked before when you walked, but you just kept getting up and trying until you walked. Anytime we switch jobs or careers or become an entrepreneur, you've never done it before. You can't pull from confidence. You're going to have to go within and create self-confidence in yourself and know, like, it's just not going to feel good because I'm in a place where this is all new.
Yeah.
And with reps and time, It'll feel better because I'm gaining more and more knowledge and I'm gaining more and more confidence, and like relinquishing all the other humans for validating you. Like they're just doing their job and trying to survive and not get fired.
Yeah.
Like their job isn't to like, oh, well, how is Sally doing today? Sally, like, let's have a little talk and tell you how wonderful you are, because that's what I'm getting paid to do.
Yeah. No, I don't have time for that.
No, I gotta go do my job so I don't get fired. Like, great job, go do your job. Thanks for doing it. If I don't ever have to get on to you, then know you're doing an awesome job.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you just got to make a decision. I would say to your friend, like, you got to decide. Do you want to continue to run from yourself and keep finding yourself where you are, no matter the different job titles, and keep doing what you're doing? Or do you want it to be different this time? And if you want it to be different this time, then you just have to make a decision that I'm willing to do hard things. I'm willing to be in the suck. And I'm willing to know that this is what's helping me become the higher version of me. It's not about this job.
Right.
It's about me becoming the person I want to be. And me becoming the person I want to be means that I have to be in this sucky place right now so I can learn how to trust myself. So I can learn how to believe in myself and how to validate my own self and figure out that I can figure things out.
Right. That builds that self-confidence, right? And that realization of I'm coming from a place of what I want, right? And what I want to see, what I want to change, versus, yeah, let me just move on because I'm uncomfortable. I don't want to be here. I don't like that. Yeah, that feel of this. So I'm just going to move on. And then, I mean, another month down the line, you're still uncomfortable.
You'll just spend your life doing that.
Yeah.
And then I wonder, like, when we spend our life doing that, if it doesn't leave us a lot with like regret and what ifs.
Yeah. Yeah. I imagine so, right? Because people will end up in positions or in situations where they're not necessarily happy. They're doing it because it pays the bills and it's not so bad, right? It's like, yeah, I'll do this job. It's not terrible, right? I don't enjoy it. I'm not, and I'm just kind of doing the bare minimum, but it's not as uncomfortable, as, whatever. Yeah.
And it's like flexing that muscle of like, I hated being in higher ed, right? But it paid the bills.
Yeah.
You know what I learned from that is that I can do hard things. I can stay in sucky things. And I would rather do a harder thing that feels totally uncomfortable than sit here and watch my soul slowly die being in a job I hate. Right. And that's what pushed me out to be an entrepreneur. I was like, I cannot do another day of slowly dying. I would rather be uncomfortable and have to look at my insecurities every day and live outside of my comfort zone every day and feel like I'm failing every day. Because if feeling like I'm failing every day, at least I feel alive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. At least you, are not numb to the process, right? Like you're recognizing, hey, I'm making those decisions. I have a say in where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why it never works. Going back to how we started this, like whatever belief you have will always be the results that you create. No exception. Just like I had a belief I couldn't go play college basketball. That was the result I created, right? It's always belief first equals results. Mm-hmm. So when we're trying to create a belief by the results, we're always creating, okay, so here's a belief that's creating these results. And we think these results will create a belief.
A different belief.
This belief is always driving. It's always this way. Beliefs always drive results, not the other way around.
Yeah.
So even if you're wanting to create a belief that I can be successful, while you're not believing you're successful, you're going to create non-success. So you have to go back into this belief and dismantle it. Where is the evidence that I'm not successful? Where is the evidence that this is a lie?
Right.
Is it possible that I could be successful? And then you start building bridging thoughts.
Yeah.
Get to the belief you want to create the results you want.
Yeah. And say you create those building blocks of success to validate. Yeah. So you're self-validating
Yeah.
versus looking externally to try and use that, because that's always going to be a backward. You're always going to be going backwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing I have my clients do now at night is like write down wins of the day. How did I win today?
Yeah.
So then we can start seeing and creating evidence to ourselves, like, oh, like, you know, in this job, like your friend's job, like, how did I win today in this job?
Yeah.
Well, like I got this part of it done and it was a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because whatever we tell our brain to look for, it's going to go find evidence. So if she wants to find evidence that I'm terrible at this job and I'm not doing a job, that's all the evidence her RAS, or reticular activating system, is going to look for all day long.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. I love that. I think this gives her and folks the opportunity to reevaluate. Yeah. Where in that level of uncomfortableness, where can they make those changes, right? So they're setting themselves up for a different situation, hopefully a better situation, than continuing to think, oh, if I just change situations to something completely different, it'll be better. Well, yeah.
There is never better than here. Ask Brooke Castillo. $1 million. There is not better than here. $32 million. There is not better than here. Still human, having a human experience. 50-50, my friends.
Yeah. That's perfect.
All right. Well, good luck to your friend and all of you out there. There's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable. It's a human emotion. It will come, it will go.
Yes.
All right, my friend. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
Bye, guys. Bye.